Hey everybody, Benson here. Friday, happy Friday to you. Thank God it's Friday. I always say that I hate that saying, thank God it's Friday, but I'm happy that it's any day. I get to do what I love, and I hope you're doing what you love today. Today's little Facebook Live video is about you ensuring that your weekend appointments, for those that are selling real estate, for those that are selling cars, that your weekend appointments actually show up. This is so important because regardless of what you sell, there is a massive problem in 2017 where you set appointments for the weekend and people don't show up. People say they're going to, but they don't. And so how can we actually overcome that? How can we actually make sure that your customers show up and that you've got a good chance of selling? I remember a manager that I worked for many years ago, he said to me, Dave, appointments sell cars. And if you go into a Saturday without 4 appointments, your chances of selling cars are pretty low. So I'm going to talk to you about how you can ensure that you actually get those appointments showing up. I call them sticky appointments. And the reason why I call them sticky appointments is because they're like a postage stamp, right? They stick to their destination, stick to their parcel, should I say, until it reaches its final destination, which is your dealership or that house that they're going to look through. Whatever you might sell, this is going to be applicable to you. So I want to share with you 3 strategies on this Facebook Live. I'm going to start doing a lot more Facebook Lives every day so that I can encourage you with my point for the day. And I wanted to share this one with you. So make sure that if you're watching this live or you're watching this afterwards, make sure that you like it and share it with somebody who you think might be beneficial and this video might be beneficial to them. So I wanted to share with you 3 points today in making sure that your appointments show up. The first point I wanted to share with you is that you need to make sure that your appointments are set in the previous 48 hours. What I mean by that is today's Friday, you want to be setting appointments today for the weekend. If you're setting appointments on Monday for a customer to come into your dealership or to meet you at their house or to come into your store or your showroom on the weekend, and it was set back on Monday, the chances of that appointment actually showing up is very low. And the reason why I say that is because I've done a lot of research in statistical evidence that shows that within 48 hours, if you set an appointment within the 48-hour period that they're meant to show up, the chances of that person showing up is around 55%. Right? The chances of them showing up when it's 3 days plus, it drops to under 20%. And so purely that's just based on people's lives getting busy, things changing. Maybe they go online and they see another car, another house, or another product that they're interested in, and all of a sudden that appointment they set for a week ago or last Monday is not going to actually turn up. So the most frustrating thing I remember as a car salesman was that I would be setting appointments for Saturday morning, and then the customer, let's say I had one set for 10 o'clock, and I had a customer that walked in, a different customer that just happened to walk in about 9:45. But I was in the back of my mind going, well, I better let another salesperson take this lead because I've got an appointment showing up at 10 o'clock. Even though that wasn't really a confirmed appointment, they said they were coming in, but the likelihood was they weren't. And see, what happened was that I ended up giving leads to another salesperson. A customer would buy the car then from the other salesperson, and I'd be standing there feeling terrible at 10:30 trying to call my customer who hadn't shown up. Then typically what happens in car sales is you can get what I call head-nicked. You can get very down about your circumstances when you've had a whole stack of appointments. It's very deflating when you've had a whole stack of appointments that don't show up. And that doesn't matter whether you're a chiropractor, run a massage business, you run a car dealership, or you work in a car dealership, or you're trying to sell real estate. It's very frustrating. So what are the 3 things? The first thing is you've got to set the appointments within the last 48 hours. So I want to set the appointment for the weekend, but I want to make sure that it's been set from today, at least confirmed. Like if I spoke to them earlier in the week, that it must be confirmed on the phone, not via text message, on the phone today. So that's the first real key that I encourage you to do. Only set appointments for the next 48 hours, and that goes not just for a weekend, but for any time. The second tip is to think about why they're coming in. Why is that person coming into your dealership, into your showroom, into your store? Why have they made that appointment? Have you given them enough reason to actually come in? Can they do a lot of the research online, for example? I know it's different when you're delivering massage or something like that. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that there is a strong reason. And let me take the example of car sales for a second. Is you want to make sure that a customer actually is either coming in to test drive the car or they're coming in to have their vehicle appraised. Because it's the only two that really cannot be done online. It's the only two steps in the sales process that can't be done online. And so I encourage you, if they're not coming in for a test drive, or alternatively, you're not seeing their car, they're coming to talk finance or they just want to have a chat, there's a good chance that something else comes up and they'll warm to that, or they'll go with that option on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. So I really encourage, make sure that they have a reason for actually coming in. The only way to get a sticky appointment is that they actually have a strong desire to come in and get their trade appraised or to go for a drive. It's the same with selling homes. That they might have had a walkthrough video that you've done, or they've seen all the photos on real estate or online. But you want to be able to set an appointment that I want to show you some really cool things about this house when you come in. And so you actually set the excitement for them actually coming in. The third area that I want to cover today is that you obviously need to confirm it. So I said to you that if it's set earlier than 24 to 48 hours, what you need to do is you need to call them today and actually get them on the phone. Not leave a message, not send them a text message. You actually want to get that customer on the phone to confirm the appointment. You also want to ensure that the customer understands that you're very busy. And so this is really an important one, because if they feel like they can just pop in at any time because you're not busy, well, they feel like it's okay to change the appointment or alternatively not to show up. But when you say to a customer, look, we are really busy, but I can fit you in between 10 and 12. Would that work for you? And they go, yeah, well, that works for me. Okay, great. Have you got a pen? I want you to pop it in your diary. I want you to write it down. And you even send them a calendar invite through the email for that time, because then it will pop up with reminders, which is a really cool idea. But what you want to do, so once it's confirmed, what you want to do is you want to send them 2 text messages before they come in. The first text message, hey Precious, hey Dylan, I didn't even notice you guys are there, so hope you're doing fantastic. You want to send 2 text messages, not phone calls. You want to send them a text message the night before. The text message the night before will say, I'm really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And what I'm going to do tomorrow morning is I'm going to get the car out and I'm going to make sure that it's clean, that it's fueled up and ready to go for our drive. And so you just send them a basic text message with that. Doesn't need to be picture, doesn't need to be video around that. Dylan says appointment 15, 45 minute, 25 minute, makes a set time, not around about time. Absolutely, I think you've been to one of my training sessions. I call it the East-West 90, 15 minutes and 45. So 1:45 or 2:15, which one would suit you best? I know doctors and solicitors do this, and even massage places, they do this. They set specific times so that people turn up rather than saying, I'll come in about 2 o'clock. So good point there, Dylan. But what I want you to do is send 2 text messages. So the first one the night before, really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the car out tomorrow, make sure it's all clean, fueled up for you, and ready for our appointment at 10 o'clock. If anything changes, please let me know. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So basic text message. And then the second text message you're going to send is one the morning of. So let's say you've got an appointment with your client to come into your dealership or into the house, for example, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. What you want to do is you want to prepare the way. You want to show that you've actually gone out of your way to look after them. So, car sales example. You said that you were going to get the car all cleaned up. Well, what you want to do is you want to do a video text message the morning of with the car in the background. You want to say, hey, here's the car that you're going to come in and test drive. Here it is. It's all just been cleaned up for you, looking beautiful, and I've got it fueled up, and I look forward to seeing you at 1 o'clock. Can't wait. Let me know if anything changes, but otherwise I look forward to seeing you at 1. So that's a great example for car sales. For real estate, you want to again send a video message. Potentially when you're putting the sign out the front on the street, like an open home, for example, you actually want to send them a quick video of yourself out the front of the house, or putting the sign out, or in the car on the way. You want to say, hey, I'm just jumping in the car. I've got another couple of appointments to go to, but I look forward to seeing you at number 1 Dale Close around at 1 o'clock. Like we said, I'm going to make sure that the house is all opened up for you so that it's ready for you at 1 o'clock. So what you're doing is you're preparing the way. It's really, really important that you do these 3 things, because I was chatting to a colleague of mine, or a friend of mine who sells cars in Sydney last week. He had 4 appointments for the weekend, and he told me that none of them showed up. And I asked him why. Why do you think that is? And he said to me firstly that they were walk-in inquiries. And because they were walk-in inquiries, they didn't have, they'd already been in, they'd already had a test drive, they hadn't had a reason to come in. He also told me they were set like a week ago, and he hadn't actually spoken to them on the phone to confirm the appointment. And the third thing, he definitely didn't do something outside the box by sending a video message the morning of with the car out. By the way, it's a really, really good point for salespeople in the car industry to make sure that the car is pulled out for them. It's not just sitting in the lot or sitting on the showroom and parked in by 4 cars. If you've got an appointment, make it feel like a delivery to that customer. So you're going to prepare the way and make sure that the customer nearly feels obliged to turn up for the appointment that they set. So I hope these 3 tips have helped you ensure that you set some appointments for today and for the weekend. If you work both Saturday and Sunday, I'm a big believer that you should have at least 4 appointments per day, because 1 or 2 may potentially, doesn't matter what you do, may potentially not show up. And so you want to make sure that you have at least 2 show-ups, so that you can sell a couple of cars and obviously get the walk-in inquiry for the weekend. But make sure you're out there setting appointments today. Happy Friday to you. I hope you're doing fantastic. Make sure you like and share this video, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow with another sales tip of the day. I'm Benson. I look forward to seeing you soon.